is going on, YouTube world? My name is Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice because that is my nickname. Appreciate you guys for watching this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right about now, as it does help these videos get to the public and my channel to grow overall. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can, and turn on post notifications too, so you do not miss a single one of those videos that I post. It is only right, you guys. So, I watched Joe Judge's press conference with the New York Football Giants, finally. And I gotta tell you guys, I was pretty impressed, you know. Let me be very clear about how I felt about Joe Judge before that press conference, you know. Look, I understood why he was hired by the New York Football Giants. The guy has a pedigree. The guy has a track record that a lot of coaches do not have as far as other teams evaluating head coaches. Meaning, he had a pretty solid resume when he actually interviewed for the New York Football Giants job, okay? He comes from the roots of Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. He's learned under the best, okay? He's been a special teams coordinator. And a lot of people laughed at that and said, oh, he's just a special teams guy. I actually said in my initial video, once he was hired, that actually might help Joe Judge, because the special teams guys, you know, special teams coordinators, they have to deal with both sides of the football. They have to deal with the practice squad guys, the guys that are undrafted. They have to find ways to get the best out of these guys that no one hears about on special teams. They have to find ways to make things work on the special teams unit, because everyone can be used on special teams to a certain extent, whether it be on kickoffs, you know, kick returns, blocking, you know, field goal kicking, place holding, all that good stuff. So, you know, I understood why he was hired by the Giants. However, my stance was, and it's still this stance today, that the New York Football Giants, they settled. And I believe that they were forced to settle because they're just a job right now in an organization that a lot of teams do not look at in the breath that they look at some of these other organizations and other coaching jobs out there. The Giants' job is not as sexy to head coaching candidates out there as it used to be about 4 to 5 years ago, okay? And for me personally, I thought the Giants was a good job. That's why I was shocked. But again, I believe that the Giants should be able to hire a Urban Meyer, a Lincoln Riley. They should be able to get whoever they want, in my opinion, because they're the New York Football Giants. However, they have stooped to such a low level, and they have been so bad these last couple of years that's just impossible now. You know, Matt Rule, he didn't want to go there. They couldn't get Matt Rule. That's their guy. That's who they wanted. They could not get Matt Rule. That's a problem. And I firmly believe that Dave Gettleman scared away some head coaching candidates. You know, Dave Gettleman, I personally like Dave Gettleman to a certain extent because I think he's a pretty good drafter. I mean, people laughed at him for drafting Saquon Barkley over Sam Darnold and some of these other quarterbacks. Saquon Barkley looks like a good pick. A lot of people laughed at him, including myself, for drafting Daniel Jones over Dwayne Haskins. We'll see what Dwayne Haskins, you know, looks like a year number 2. I think he takes a big leap next year. But again, so far, Dave Gettleman, he looks pretty right. At least you can say Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback. That guy has talent. That guy has a bright future if he gets the right coaching and he continues to develop and improve on his fumbling issues, okay? He turns the football over a lot, but he can get better at that, okay? So, but the bottom line is, Dave Gettleman is seen as a guy that's kind of cocky, kind of hard to work with, and a guy that at times is over his head, and a guy that makes some dumb decisions, okay? That's just how he's perceived by NFL guys at times, okay? I was also skeptical of Joe Judge because he did not have any head coaching experience. And let's be real, guys, Bill Belichick's former assistant coaches do not seem to always translate to being great NFL head coaches. Have you seen Matt Patricia? Is he a great head coach? No, he's not. And also, Joe Judge this year took over as the wide receiver coach for the Patriots. And let's be real, that was the weakest part of their team. So I had my questions about Joe Judge. However, I will say this. I believe to a certain extent this hiring can work. And I have some optimism about Joe Judge after listening to his press conference, okay? The thing that I loved the most about Joe Judge was he was himself. he was very honest and he was very open to the public. At times, head coaches tried to be something they are not. A lot of these former Bill Belichick guys, they tried to, bring the Patriots way to their team and to another organization. Guys, to be real with you, the Patriots way does not work with everyone. It doesn't work with every locker room and every organization, okay? So I love the fact that Joe Judge is bringing his own ideas while bringing some of the things he learned from the Patriots to the Giants, okay? And Joe Judge talked about an old school physical mentality that he wants to bring to the New York Football Giants, a blue-collar mentality. He wants to be aggressive. He wants to punch you in the mouth for 60 minutes. He said, this team is going to be fundamentally sound. I loved hearing those things from Joe Judge because that's what the New York Football Giants lacked this past year. The Giants were not a physical football team. They beat themselves a lot. They were not very old school. They were not physical enough. They were not tough enough up front. They need to get back to those ways because when they were tough up front and physical and fundamentally sound, they won 2 Super Bowls under Eli Manning. And I love Eli Manning. I think Eli Manning is a first ballot Hall of Famer. But Daniel Jones seems to be a little bit more talented, at least so far throughout his career, than Eli Manning up to this point. That's just my opinion, okay? And Joe Judge also said he values teaching, okay? He values bringing in teachers to teach his players why they're doing certain things, why they're doing their job this way, why are they running the play the way they're running this play, okay? He wants to prepare his players Sunday to Sunday, okay? There were some talks about DeAndre Baker not even knowing the entire playbook, okay? That was embarrassing, okay? That's gonna work for me. I think that's the right thing to say if you're Joe Judge, okay? And also Joe Judge talked about adjusting, okay? I love this because coaches at times do not adjust very well. I see too many times where coaches come in with a game plan and they try to stick with it throughout the entire game. Joe Judge said, if we need to run the football 40 times, we'll run the football 40 times with Saquon Barkley. If we need to throw the ball only 10 times, we'll only throw the ball 10 times, okay? He said he's going to figure out what he has, and he's going to adjust week to week based on the opponent they're playing. If he's facing a team that has a great pass defense, he'll try to establish the run. If he's facing a team that has a weak run defense, he'll just run the football down your throat. So I think that is going to work as far as this Giants team goes, okay? And listen, Joe Judge also said he wants to know what a player can do, not what they can't do, okay? So that's very key because you see time and time again players not play to other guys' strengths, okay? Look at the Baltimore Ravens. Look at what they're doing with Lamar Jackson. They're building an offense around that guy. They looked at Lamar Jackson and said, hey, he may not be the most accurate passer coming out of college, but we can fix him. We can fix him, maybe develop him and get him better as a passer, but we'll also feature him and do what he does best. I see too many coaches at times being stubborn. Joe Judge seems to me to be open to new opportunities and open to figuring out what players can do. And that's what he did on special teams. He had to figure out what guys could do, not what they could not do. Okay, so I like what Joe Judge said in that regard. Now, as good as Joe Judge's press conference was, I still worry that he's had lack of coaching experience. I still worry about the fact that Bill Belichick disciples have not quite worked in the NFL to a certain extent. Brian Flores is doing a pretty good job. There's some other candidates that have done okay, but Josh McDaniels, he feels as a head coach. I just have my reservations served for Bill Belichick disciples and Bill Belichick's former assistants because all of them have pretty much failed in the NFL. But again, I think Joe Judge could potentially be an exception. And I believe Joe Judge hiring Jason Garrett as the offensive coordinator for the New York Football Giants is huge. And it really could potentially help this football team. The reason why I say that is because Jason Garrett, he's a former head coach. So now Joe Judge has a former head coach on his staff, a guy that's won a division before, a guy that's been there and done that in the coaching world, that he can learn from, that he can go to if he needs help. And also Jason Garrett, a lot of people might be scared of Jason Garrett as an offensive coordinator just because he didn't pan out to be the greatest head coach in Dallas. He only won 2 playoff games in 10 years. But again, Jason Garrett is brought in to do what he does best, and that's to call offensive plays. Jason Garrett can get the best out of quarterbacks. We've seen him get the best out of Dak Prescott, a guy that was picked in the 4th round, okay? We've seen him get the best out of Tony Romo, a guy that went undrafted at times, okay? So I think Jason Garrett knows offense. I believe that Daniel Jones has a lot of promise. I believe Jason Garrett can potentially get the best out of Saquon Barkley the way he got the best out of Ezekiel Elliott at times. At times, his play calling was questionable. But again, hey, we never know. Let's see if Jason Garrett learns from that. So, in conclusion, I still have my reservations served for Joe Judge. I don't know if Joe Judge is going to be a good head coach or not. I don't know. I still don't know a whole lot about him. However, after that press conference, I believe that Joe Judge can potentially work as an NFL head coach if he gets the right people in his building, if he works hard, and if his team buys into him, okay? The organization has to be patient with Joe Judge. He's not probably going to fix the Giants overnight. It takes baby steps. However, the last time the Giants hired 2 head coaches, they were Pat Shurmur and Ben McAdoo. I didn't like those hires, and quite frankly, I don't love this hire that the Giants made as far as getting Joe Judge, but I can at least say that, hey, I don't love it, but I like it. So either way, that's my thoughts on Joe Judge. I think he can be a successful head coach. We shall see what he does in New York this year with Jason Garrett as his offensive coordinator. Be sure to comment where you agree with me and disagree with me. Love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. A fun fact about me is I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world. I want to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. Kind of like Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. You get the point. Okay, I want to do sports, television, and radio for a full living once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. So the best thing you guys can do to just help me continue to grow as a young broadcaster is to just share this channel with all your friends, because potentially if this channel really gets somewhere, I want to start my own network, okay? Or potentially if it doesn't, or if I fall a little bit short, I want to go into a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. So the best thing you guys can do to just flat out just help me grow as a broadcaster, help me learn, get other people hip to this channel, just share this channel with all your friends, share this channel on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. Also, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And once again, guys, just share this channel with everyone you know. Get everyone hipped and watching these videos. Get my voice out there and heard. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. It's been your boy, Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. I really do. Have a God blessed day. Stay motivated, you guys, and I'm out.